If you're over 60 and noticing that stubborn belly fat just won't go away, no matter how carefully you eat or how much you try to stay active, you're not alone. Many women I talk to feel the same way as they go through and beyond menopause. The truth is, after a certain age, our bodies change. Hormones shift, and fat tends to settle around the middle. It's called visceral fat, and it's the kind that's harder on our health, affecting energy, heart, and overall well-being. But here's the wonderful news. You can turn this around naturally with simple, everyday foods that work gently with your body. No extreme diets, no giving up the things you love, just smart choices backed by real science. I've seen it help so many women just like you regain their confidence, feel lighter, and have more energy for family, grandkids, right, and the things that matter. Today I'll share 10 foods that are especially powerful for women in our stage of life to help reduce that visceral fat safely and effectively. Stay with me through the video. It's straightforward, and by the end, you'll have a practical plan you can start right away. If it resonates, please subscribe and hit the bell for more gentle, honest advice on staying healthy as we age. And I'd love a quick comment below. I'm 65 and ready to try, or watching from Texas, or simply, thank you, this gives me hope. Your note brightens my day. Let's feel our best together. Here we go. 1. Avocados. Food number 1 surprises a lot of people, and it should. Avocados. I know what you're thinking. Avocados, aren't they high in fat? Yes, and that's exactly why they work. The fat in avocados is not the enemy, it's the mechanism. And this isn't guesswork, it's backed by real science. A 12-week randomized controlled trial from the University of Illinois studied 105 adults with overweight and obesity. One group ate one fresh avocado every day. The other group ate a calorie-matched meal without avocado. After 12 weeks, the results were striking. Women who ate avocados daily experienced a significant reduction in visceral fat, the dangerous fat stored deep around the organs. Even more important, the ratio of visceral to subcutaneous fat improved, meaning their bodies were actively moving fat out of the danger zone. Interestingly, this effect was specific to women. Men did not show the same change. That tells us something important. This isn't hype. It's biology. So why does it work? Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats and fiber, delivering about 7 grams of fiber per avocado. Together, these nutrients help stabilize insulin, reduce appetite, and keep you full longer. When insulin stays under control, fat storage slows down naturally. Here's how to use it. 1 medium avocado per day, about 140 grams for women, or roughly half to a whole avocado depending on size. Add it to toast, salads, or smoothies. No extremes, just consistency. And when avocados are combined with foods number 7 and 8 on this list, the fat loss signal becomes even stronger, which we'll cover next. 2. Green tea. Green tea is something many of you already have sitting in your kitchen. But here's the urgent truth most people miss. Not all tea helps with fat loss, and drinking it casually won't move the needle. What matters is a specific compound inside green tea called EGCG. That's where the real power lives. And this isn't speculation. A double-blind, placebo-controlled trial in China, the gold standard of research, studied 118 adults with high visceral fat. One group drank green tea, providing 690 milliliters of catechins daily. The other drank a control beverage. After 12 weeks, the green tea group showed significant reductions in visceral fat area, body weight, and overall body fat. The control group, no meaningful change. A second study from Japan, involving 240 adults with visceral obesity, found the same pattern. With about 583 milliliters of catechins daily for 12 weeks, participants saw clear drops in visceral fat, waist circumference, and total fat mass. And here's where this becomes even more powerful. Green tea works even better when paired with exercise. In overweight adults, drinking green tea before workouts increased fat burning by 19-27% during exercise. That's not subtle. That's a metabolic advantage. Why does it work? EGCG hits fat loss from 3 angles. First, it increases fat oxidation, helping your body burn fat more efficiently. Second, it preserves norepinephrine, a hormone that tells fat cells to release stored fat. More norepinephrine means more fat released. Third, it improves insulin sensitivity, so less insulin is needed, and less insulin means less fat storage. Here's how to use it. 2 to 3 cups of brewed green tea daily, providing roughly 500–600 milligrams of catechins. Skip bottled teas, they're usually sugar in disguise. If possible, drink it before exercise and be consistent. The strongest results appear after 8 to 12 weeks. 3. Greek yogurt and probiotic-rich Greek yogurt. Here's something most people don't realize, and it's crucial to understand. Your gut bacteria play a major role in how much belly fat you store. That may sound surprising, but the science behind it is very real. An 8-week clinical trial in women with overweight and obesity split participants into groups. One group ate 200 grams of probiotic yogurt daily, containing specific strains like Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium BB12, and Lactobacillus casei. The control group followed the same calorie-restricted diet but without the yogurt. Even though calories were the same, the women eating probiotic yogurt lost significantly more body fat and weight. This lines up with larger research too. The PREDICT study, involving over 1,000 people, found that regular yogurt consumption was linked to gut microbiome changes associated with less belly fat. So what's going on? Beneficial gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, which send signals that influence fat storage. Some bacterial patterns push fat toward the belly, others protect against it. Probiotics help shift that balance in the right direction. There's another advantage. Greek yogurt is high in protein, about 15–20 grams per cup. Protein increases fullness, slightly boosts metabolism, and helps preserve muscle while fat is being lost. Here's how to use it. 1 cup of plain, unsweetened Greek or probiotic yogurt per day. Look for live and active cultures, and add your own berries if you like. Consistency is what makes the difference. 4. Berries. When I say berries, I mean blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries, and this isn't generic fruit is healthy advice. This is targeted science, especially for women. A well-known identical twin study looked at sisters with the same DNA and genetics. The key difference was diet. The twin who consumed more anthocyanins, the compounds that give berries their deep red, blue, and purple color, had 9% less body fat, specifically abdominal fat, than her sister. Same genes, different results. Anthocyanins are metabolically active. A study in women found that higher anthocyanin intake was linked to lower inflammation, better insulin sensitivity, and reduced body fat. Another study showed that berries rich in methylated anthocyanins, such as blueberries, were especially effective at improving fat loss and increasing energy expenditure. Here's the part that really stands out. One study found that eating about 1 cup of blueberries daily for just 2 weeks increased fat burning during exercise by 19–43%. Same workout, same effort, more fat burned. Why? Anthocyanins improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, increase fat oxidation during exercise, and may even activate brown fat, the type that burns calories. How to use this? 1 to 1.5 cups of mixed berries per day, fresh or frozen. Add them to Greek yogurt to stack the benefits. Ladies, if you appreciate research that actually focuses on women's health, give this video a thumbs up. Now let's move on to food number 5. 5. Almonds and tree nuts. This one surprises a lot of people, but the science is clear. Eating the right fats can help reduce belly fat. A randomized controlled feeding study followed 48 adults with elevated LDL cholesterol. They ate 1.5 ounces of almonds daily for 6 weeks, with total calories kept the same. The results were striking. Body weight didn't change, but the almond group lost significant abdominal and leg fat, confirmed by DEXA scans. Fat came off the midsection specifically. This isn't an isolated finding. A large review of dozens of almond studies showed that people who added 250–320 calories per day from almonds gained far less weight than predicted, and some even lost body fat despite eating more calories. Why does this happen? 3 key reasons. First, you don't absorb all the calories in almonds. Because of their structure, about 20% of the calories aren't fully extracted by the body. Second, almonds are rich in protein and fiber, around 6 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber per ounce, which increases fullness and naturally reduces overeating. Third, digesting protein slightly boosts metabolism through the thermic effect of food. How to use them: 1 to 1.5 ounces per day, about 23-35 almonds. Eat them as a snack or add them to salads, Greek yogurt, or berries. Choose raw or dry roasted with no added oils or sugars. If this helped, give the video a thumbs up and tell me in the comments which foods you're going to try. 6. Fatty fish. We've all heard that fish is healthy, but here's what most people don't realize. Fatty fish doesn't just help in general, it specifically targets belly fat, the dangerous fat wrapped around your organs. There's a small but powerful study in overweight and obese postmenopausal women with type 2 diabetes, a group that notoriously struggles with abdominal fat. For 2 months, they consumed fish oil rich in omega-3s. The result? They lost about 1.6 kilograms of body fat, primarily from trunk fat, measured accurately with DEXA scans. That's not scale weight, that's real fat loss from the midsection. Another study found that people who ate fatty fish like salmon 3 times per week, while following a calorie-restricted diet, lost significantly more weight in just the first 4 weeks compared to those who didn't include fish. But the real value goes deeper than weight alone. Omega-3s from fish, specifically EPA and DHA, directly improve insulin sensitivity and reduce chronic inflammation, 2 of the biggest drivers of belly fat. When omega-3 levels are adequate, your body burns more fat for energy, not less. Research also shows they work synergistically with exercise. In one study, women taking 3 grams of fish oil burned 10% more calories and 27% more fat during workouts. Here's how to use this. Aim for 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week, about 3 to 4 ounces per serving. Choose wild-caught salmon, mackerel, sardines, or herring. They're the richest sources. If you don't eat fish, a high-quality fish oil supplement providing 1 to 2 grams of combined EPA and DHA daily is a smart alternative. 7. Whole grains, oats, brown rice, quinoa. This is where things can sound controversial, especially with the popularity of low-carb diets. But when we step back and look at long-term research, the picture is clear. Whole grains are linked to less belly fat, not more. Data from the Framingham Heart Study, one of the longest-running health studies, followed thousands of adults and found that higher whole grain intake was associated with significantly lower visceral fat, even after accounting for calories, exercise, and other lifestyle factors. The pattern held consistently: more whole grains, less abdominal fat. This is supported by a 12-year study of over 74,000 U.S. women, where those who increased fiber intake the most gained about 1.5 kilograms less weight over time. Women who regularly ate more whole grains stayed leaner throughout the study. The most convincing evidence comes from people with metabolic syndrome. In a controlled trial, participants followed the same calorie-restricted diet, but one group ate whole grains while the other ate refined grains. Both groups lost weight, but the whole grain group lost significantly more abdominal fat, despite similar weight loss. Why? Whole grains are rich in soluble fiber, which slows digestion, increases fullness, blunts blood sugar spikes, and lowers insulin response. Lower insulin means less fat storage, especially around the belly. How to use them? Aim for about 3 servings per day, around 48 grams of whole grains. Choose oats, brown rice, quinoa, or whole grain bread, and check labels for the word whole. Whole grains work best as part of an overall strategy, not alone. 8. Eggs. If you want to understand why something works, not just that it works, eggs deserve serious attention. They may be one of the most underrated fat loss foods available, and the research behind them is strong. A randomized controlled trial placed adults with overweight on the same calorie-restricted diet. One group ate 2 eggs for breakfast, 5 days a week. The other ate a bagel with the exact same calories. After 8 weeks, the results were clear. The egg group lost 65% more weight and had a 34% greater reduction in waist circumference. Same calories, very different outcomes. The reason starts with satiety. Eggs rank extremely high, about 50% higher than white bread or breakfast cereal. When you eat eggs in the morning, you naturally eat fewer calories later in the day. Studies show people feel less hungry and consume fewer calories at lunch after an egg-based breakfast. Protein quality matters too. Each egg provides about 6 grams of high-quality protein, and protein has the highest thermic effect of all macronutrients. Your body burns 20 to 30% of protein calories just digesting them. Eggs also contain leucine, which supports muscle metabolism, and choline, essential for fat processing. How to use them? 2 to 3 eggs 5 to 7 days per week, ideally at breakfast. Boiled, scrambled, or poached, all fine. Just keep added fats minimal if fat loss is your goal. 9. Soluble fiber foods. Beans, oats, flax seeds, Brussels sprouts. These foods don't just help digestion. They directly target belly fat, especially visceral fat, the dangerous kind wrapped around your organs. And this is one of the most underappreciated tools we have. Here's a fact most people don't know. A large observational study of over 1,100 adults found that for every 10-gram increase in soluble fiber intake, belly fat gain dropped by 3.7% over 5 years. Think about that. Just 10 grams, roughly a serving of beans plus some oats, reduced abdominal fat accumulation by almost 4% over time. Another study confirmed nearly identical results. So why is soluble fiber so powerful? First, it forms a gel in your digestive tract, slowing digestion. That keeps you full longer and naturally reduces how much you eat. Second, it feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which produce short-chain fatty acids, compounds that lower inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. Third, it blunts blood sugar spikes after meals, which means less insulin. And lower insulin is one of the most important signals for reducing belly fat. Here's how to use it safely and effectively. Aim for 25-30 grams of total fiber per day, with 10-15 grams coming from soluble fiber. If you're not used to fiber, start slowly. Increase by about 5 grams per week to avoid digestive discomfort, and drink plenty of water so fiber can do its job properly. This isn't flashy, but it's one of the most reliable strategies for long-term belly fat reduction. 10. Lean protein sources. I've grouped these together because they work through the same powerful mechanism: chicken breast, turkey, white fish, and other lean proteins. We've already talked about eggs and Greek yogurt, but lean protein deserves its own place on this list, and here's why. Protein is metabolically active. Your body burns 20-30% of protein calories just digesting them, compared to about 5-10% for carbohydrates and almost nothing for fats. In science, this is called the thermic effect of food, and it gives protein a built-in fat loss advantage. But that's only part of the story. Protein also raises fullness hormones and lowers hunger hormones, so you naturally eat less without forcing willpower. And just as important, protein protects muscle while you're losing weight. When weight comes off, you want fat loss, not muscle loss. Study after study shows that people eating higher protein diets lose more fat and less muscle, even when total calories are the same. Here's how to use it. Aim for at least 30 grams of protein per meal, and you can go up to 50 to 60 grams if it feels right. A simple guide is a palm-sized portion, about 3 or 4 ounces, of chicken, turkey, white fish, lean beef, or tofu if you're plant-based. Spread protein evenly across meals to support digestion and steady energy. Lean protein works best when combined with fiber and healthy fats, which is why all 10 foods on this list work together, not in isolation. You've just been introduced to 10 foods that truly work, not because they're trendy, but because they support how your body actually functions. By mixing 3 to 4 of these foods into your daily meals, you're helping improve insulin sensitivity, hormonal balance, metabolism, and how your body handles fat storage. The most important takeaway is this: consistency matters more than perfection. Research shows that 8 to 12 weeks is the realistic timeline for seeing meaningful, visible results. Not overnight, but real change you can feel and sustain. Over time, many people notice not just a smaller waist, but better energy, improved mood, and greater mental clarity. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Small, repeatable choices create the biggest impact. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these foods are you committing to this week? Leave it in the comments and make that promise to yourself. I read every comment, and your feedback helps guide future videos. If this video helped you, please like it, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Senior Health Guard. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. In the next video, I'll break down the daily habits after 50 that quietly block belly fat loss and exactly how to fix them. Stay consistent, stay healthy,